Cool. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here at our monthly admin meeting. This is obviously just as a reminder, a time where we come together and meet on each of our departments. Kevin and I and Andy meet every Monday morning, but this monthly meeting is intended to have all of us in one space together where we can talk about how each department's going and make sure that we're all syncing up on what our expectations are and the workflow that we're handling. So I'd like to start off with Andy in the success manager role. Obviously, he's having one-on-ones every week with the agents, and so he has probably the best feel as to how things are going between the agents and the admin. I know it's the busiest time we've ever experienced. Last month, we did over 80 transactions, so obviously you both have a lot on your plate from the listing coordinator and buyer coordinator roles. A lot into listings going live. Probably more listings have gone live than ever. So there's a few holes that we found that we're going to continue to find where we expect that. I just want to make sure we're addressing them and we're figuring out processes and putting them in place as to ensure that we don't run into too many issues down the road. So Andy, what is the feedback you've been getting?
The feedback is, I think what it comes down to is communication. You know what I mean? There's a lot of areas where the agents feel that the admin should be picking up the slack or could be, and there's a lot of areas where the admin are like, we wouldn't have to if you get it done the right way the first time.
Right.
So in how I can affect that, because when it comes to paperwork, I only know mine. I don't know the other agents' paperwork that they're turning in. So if I could get the admin to reach out to me specifically about agents and who's having struggles in certain areas, I can either touch base in our one-on-one meeting, or I can touch base during my 10 to 1 training period on Wednesdays and say, so-and-so is always doing this wrong. They're not even filling it out right, not let alone not filling it out, but they're filling it out wrong. Then I can reach out to them and not always rely on the agents to come to me when they have a certain topic. Okay. And I do that specifically with the newer agents, but any agent, that would be a great idea because that would really help me.
So if you see a trend, if either of you guys would see a trend with the paperwork that's getting turned in, you know it's always Vaughn who's not including certain addendums, instead of you guys having to have the tough conversation saying, hey Vaughn, you're never including your earnest deposit, you pass that along. Do you want them to pass it directly to you or through Kevin? They would email you?
If it's okay with Kevin, they can go directly to me on that, but I would love it in email because then at the end of the day I can sit down, reach out to people, and it won't be I got to hold that through these next 5 meetings and remember to do it.
And would you guys prefer that? Because then it puts a little bit more pressure on the agent to turn it in instead of it you guys saying, hey, you're always missing your paperwork. Now it's management finding out about it and holding the agents accountable to getting it done the right way.
Personally, on the listing side, I know like with Courtney, he had his first listing. He actually came in, sat down with me, and I explained the entire process.
Perfect.
So listings going live, that whole process, I feel like it works better for us to just
You
connect
talk
from the
directly.
beginning.
Perfect.
Paperwork on buy side may be a completely different
That's a good point.
animal.
It'll probably be paperwork on your side once they get contracts. That's
Right.
where it'll come up.
The
with
listing
you.
side
But
is
the
not
actual
really
listing,
as
getting it going.
tedious as
Yeah.
the buy
Right.
side, so.
Sure. No, I think the email is a good thing.
But I need
find it
specifics because I know
someone's
there
specific.
are right. I know there are times where you guys have both been like, "Hey, there's some agents," and you really don't like to call them out. Sometimes
It feels like you're throwing someone under the bus, but
Right.
it doesn't
Right.
need to
it's
be
not
that.
going to
We're
fix,
just
and I
trying
won't
to
come at them
perfect
like
it.
that either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all
Okay.
about they're going to be happier. You know what I mean? Once they're doing their job better and they're getting better response from you guys. So it's got to be that way.
And I think like with coming soons on listings, we have 48 hours to get stuff correct. So rather than sending it to you, waiting for you to talk to them.
Oh, and I don't want this is
After
not
the fact.
a right. This is not a Andy. They're not getting this. They don't have this in. Will you get on them about it? That's
Right,
not what this
not
is.
at all.
This is a Andy. I want you to correct this going forward. Right. It's not a fix the issue now.
We've been having issues with this
Exactly.
agent, and if you could just address that at
More of a big
one-on-one.
picture item with each agent instead of an individual. I don't want those.
No, we're not helping on any one file. It's more about something not being done the proper process or
Consistently.
Maybe even
Right.
someone communicating to you in a rude way, or you feel like people are disrespecting you, or there's someone spending too much time in your office, which we've experienced in the past. I think it's fixing those issues instead of you having to have that awkward, hard conversation. This is going to give you a vehicle to take care of some of the problems you guys are having.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else from an agent feedback standpoint? I think it's a good point that Andy brought up. He's saying, anytime there's an issue, no one really wants to take responsibility. And I've said all along, I don't really care how it happened. All I care is that it's fixed and we can move forward and have a solution to whatever the problems are that we have to tackle.
I want to hear this much more often from both sides. Okay, so when I hear that they're missing paperwork, I want to hear that the agent was proactive about getting it done. Right? They had to go. They went out and did whatever they had carved out time to make it happen. I also want to hear when there was a mistake on the admin side that I let so and so know that this was wrong. That they were proactive about it. Absolutely, we'll take care of. I don't want to hear whose fault it was. I want to hear who took care of it, and then
Right.
we'll work on the whose fault it was later.
Right. And all I care about on the fault side, all that my focus would be towards is how is it going to get fixed? What's the new process
What's-
or
And
checklist
that's
that we're going to
hopefully
implement?
that this will fix.
Right, or
Yeah.
that it's done.
Yeah.
I don't like to lay blame. It's just like we fixed
Right.
it.
Problems are going to happen. I mean,
Right.
Lindsay
Right.
and I were involved in a big issue with one of my listings a couple weeks back, and I didn't care whose fault it was. The only reason I would want to know whose fault it was is so I knew who to talk to fix the problem. There's going to be problems. If your team's not running into issues with administrative staff and agents with paperwork, then you have a problem. You're probably not selling enough houses. So this is just indicative of the fact that we're selling a lot of property.
Well, in the last couple of weeks has pointed out some holes and stuff like that, which has been good, just so that we can knock that out here up front with our busy season, and then hopefully we'll be smooth sailing the rest of the year. So.